There are huge spoilers ahead, so definitely be sure to check out the latest episode before watching this video. Here we were, thinking that other episodes were plot heavy. Who knew it would be the Hooty episode that develops 3 whole major plot threads in a row, while even throwing in an awesome little teaser at the end of the episode. As the segments of this episode are pretty clear cut, it makes sense to do this breakdown in order from king to loose. So let's get to it. Before we do though, be sure to subscribe. Not a lot of you tuning in regularly do, and it'd be a huge shame if you missed out on my weekly Owl House content. It also really helps support the channel, and I truly appreciate those of you who do so. If you want to give me a little extra support, be sure to check out my Patreon for some awesome perks. Now back to the video.
How we doing, Hoot House?
The premise of the episode is that Hooty wants to actively help the Owl House gang after being spurred on by an encouraging letter from Lilith. As such, he sets off to help each of them with their problems. And can I quickly just say how happy I am that Lilith really did keep in touch? Anyway, the first segment of the episode focuses on King, who is actually going through demon puberty. As the only other demon in the house, King reluctantly lets Hooty help figure out what he can expect from it. Needless to say, we find out a ton of cool information about demons. The origin of demons is that they arose from the mark of a decomposing titan, and they can be classed into 3 groups. These are bug, biped, and beast. Apparently Hooty is a bug type due to being a worm? Okay then.
Finally, I get to be a part of something!
All demons possess some form of magic, but biped demons specifically share the bile sac that witches are born with. I'm wondering if this might be through demons having witch ancestors, or maybe if witches inherited these bile sacs from demon ancestors. Interestingly, King ends up not fitting into any category of demon, which definitely raises questions about him perhaps being related to a titan. Now, this isn't necessarily the titan. It's revealed in the unauthorized Wailing Isles history from Youngblood Old Soul that titans were an entire race of megafauna, or large animals. The fact that Hooty specifically says a titan instead of the titan has me biased against demons coming from our titan. While Hooty does ultimately come up unsuccessful in his efforts to deduce which class of demon King belongs to, it turns out that he actually does possess some sort of power. When he shouts, he can summon rings of energy. We actually don't know if there's a distinction between this power and magic, so I'm reluctant to call it magic. Instead, I'm voting that we call it a baby shriek. It seems to act as a sort of sound wave following the direction of his voice. Now let's move on to Eda's part. In this segment, Hooty worries that Eda overworking herself will cause her to transform into the Owl Beast, so he gives her some cookies which, unbeknownst to Eda, contain sleeping nettles. And yes, Hooty essentially laces Eda's food with hallucinogenic drugs. This ingredient's properties not only cause instant sleep, they also amplify dreams. And we all know who haunts Eda's dreams. After encountering the Owl Beast in her dream, Eda winds up in her old room at Gwendolyn's, taking the appearance of her younger self. While she initially dismisses reliving her past in a dream, that quickly changes when her dad, Del, appears at the door. It turns out that Eda once transformed into the Owl Beast and ripped out her father's eye, due to being startled by his magic party popper. This is honestly pretty gruesome for a kid's show. Sure, that was a pretty big reveal, however the next one is even bigger. It turns out that Eda and Raine were actually dating, but unfortunately the dream takes her to a scene that's less than romantic. Due to Eda keeping to herself about her struggles and not letting people in, Raine feels like they don't know her. Not only do they decide to leave Eda, but they also tell her that they plan to join the Bard Coven. This makes the initial animosity Eda had towards Raine in Eda's Requiem make a lot more sense to me, as it felt slightly unwarranted at the time. Ultimately, Raine confirms that they made the right choice when Eda starts transforming, yet she acts like everything is okay. It's heartbreaking, and made even more so by how you can see where both of them are coming from. Seeing this scene play out again only heightens Eda's anger and blame towards the Owl Beast.
It was always you!
Suddenly, she finds herself in a situation she actually doesn't remember. This is because it's one of the Owl Beast's memories. It turns out that before it was a curse scroll, it was a living being that had been hunted by a mysterious cloaked figure. Now, this figure is actually called the Collector, which is what they're credited as in the episode's end credits. Sorry to those of you that were thinking this might have been Amity. Trust me, I had my suspicions too. The fact that they're credited though definitely means we haven't seen the last of them, and I don't know about you, but I can't wait until we see them again. Seeing what the Owl Beast has been through gives Eda a newfound empathy for it. While once believing she was a victim of the curse too was a victim, and that situation isn't ideal for it either. This leads to Eda truly coming to terms with the situation, accepting the curse and even embracing it. After the dream ends, we get a hugely goddamn exciting reveal that Eda now has a harpy form. This makes a lot of sense. Eda and the Beast are no longer fighting for control, instead embracing each other and working as one. It's a beautiful, metaphoric transformation, and also just straight up beautiful. I adore this design.
Not as okay as you. Dang, girl!
This has me wondering though, is Harpy Eda actually going to learn how to master her corrupted magic? I speculated in my last breakdown that she had learned to tame the beast and control this power, and this certainly has me confident that this is the way things are going. Hooty's final plan is to try and help Luz confess to Amity. What could possibly go wrong, am I right? If you thought lacing Eda's food with drugs was sketchy, now he's luring Luz into the basement and kidnapping Amity. His list of crimes continues to grow. They fall through a trapdoor, discovering that Hooty's made this whole elaborate tunnel of love for the pair of them. While Amity actually appreciates it, Luz only thinks she'll be made fun of. The sad thing is, Luz's over-the-top reaction and embarrassment actually makes Amity feel as if she's being rejected. The moral of this story is definitely to just be yourself and not to act a certain way for other people. Luz thought Amity was too cool for the Tunnel of Love and didn't want to be seen as cheesy, but it's the cheesy side of Luz that Amity loves.
I just came here to see you, and, here you are.
Fast forward, and Eda attempts to distract Hooty so that Luz can ask Amity out. Luz explains the way she behaved in the tunnel, going on to say that she has no idea what her future holds, but she wants Amity in it. This is a super sweet sentiment, and a nice continuation of Luz's plight in Hunting Palisman, where she has no idea what she wants to do with her future. As she's about to ask Amity out, Amity herself can't hold it in any longer, and quickly asks Luz if she wants to go out with her. It's both so hilarious and so touching. Luz jokingly laments how she was so ready to ask her out herself, and so Amity still gives her the honours anyway. She of course accepts, and holy shit you guys, these two girls are actually dating now.
They're adorable and deserve all the happiness!
Same Hooty, same. The two girls then hold hands, and it's breathtaking. In the conclusion to the episode, Hooty tells us that King is discovering more about himself, Eda can transform herself into Harpy Eda at will, and Amity is helping Luz uncover the secrets in Philip Witterbane's journal, and being cute while doing it. Finally, the mysterious demon that looks suspiciously like King from the end of the last episode appears. He hands Hooty a letter for King, which he, promptly eats. Not too much to say here, except that it's very exciting. Also, unless my ears deceive me, I'm pretty sure that's Kevin Michael Richardson's voice, who I recognise as Principal Lewis from American Dad. That's two American Dad characters that I can't unhear in this show now. Please like the video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more awesome Owl House content weekly. What was your favourite part of the episode? Let me know down below in the comments. Be sure to check out my Discord, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my Patreon. Links in the description. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.